My beloved child, this message is heaven's response to your unseen tears. Last night, when the world was sleeping and your mind was heavy with the quiet weight of thoughts you couldn't speak, something sacred happened in the heavens. God turned toward your mother's soul, the one who still carries your name in eternity like a prayer that never ends. And in the stillness of that holy moment, God showed her your face, not just your face now, but your face as a child, your face in pain, your face in silence, your face in search of love. She saw everything. And her spirit wept, not in sorrow, but in longing. A longing so deep that it moved heaven itself. And then she whispered your name into the wind of glory. And heaven responded. God listened. The angels listened. And Archangel Michael was chosen. Chosen to leave the gate. Chosen to enter the timeline of your life. Chosen to bring this message that almost didn't reach you. Because heaven knew you might scroll, might rush, might push past the moment that was divinely written to heal you. But somehow, here you are. Reading what your mother prayed would reach you. A message wrapped in grace. A message saturated in the fragrance of her memory. She sent Michael to say what her earthly voice can no longer speak. And now heaven asks you, will you stay long enough to hear it? You may not know this, but your mother has seen every moment you've cried alone. Her soul has walked with you in your hardest hours. The ache you feel sometimes, the one that comes from nowhere and makes your chest heavy, that's her presence. That's her trying to reach you. Not to haunt you, but to hold you. Not to warn you, but to wake you. Because heaven doesn't send messages like this without reason. Something is opening in the spirit around you. Something has been released because of a conversation held in glory just last night. Your name was spoken. Your face was shown. And your future was whispered about in the presence of angels. Michael was sent to deliver a reminder, you are not forgotten. You are not alone. You are not lost, no matter how disconnected you've felt. And your mother? She's closer now than ever before. Not in flesh, but in light. In memory. In holy proximity. She knows the decision you're about to make. She knows the ache you haven't told anyone. She sees the way you love even when you feel empty. And that's why she sent this. Because she can't rest in peace if your spirit stays restless. Because she still believes in your calling, in your light, in your tomorrow. This is not the end of the message. This is the beginning of something sacred. The door is open now, and you are standing in the center of something holy. Let this first part settle in your chest. Let it breathe inside you. Let it be the reminder your soul forgot it was waiting for. And when you're ready, the rest is waiting. God says, your mother did not leave you. She transitioned into the only space where she could protect you without limitation. She did not disappear, she was elevated. She now walks in dimensions that defy distance, time, and fear. Her soul, once confined by gravity, now flies with glory. And even in heaven's perfection, she has not stopped thinking about you. When I showed her your face last night, she didn't just look, she felt. She felt every hidden sorrow. Every silent compromise. Every secret you buried just to keep others smiling. And in that moment, her soul trembled. She looked at me and said, "Father, let him, her know I see them. Let them feel that I am still watching, still covering, still loving." Michael, the one who guards the throne, did not hesitate. At her request, he left the realm of angels and entered the orbit of your life with a message sealed in light. He has not come to impress you with wings or fire. He has come gently, silently, with a voice that reaches deeper than sound. His arrival marks the activation of something heaven has been holding back. And it is because of your mother's intercession that this moment exists. You think you opened this message randomly. But this was written into your story before the world ever heard your name. This is not coincidence. This is calling. This is a moment of return. Of remembrance. Of restoration. She knows you've been trying to hold it all together. She knows your strength has looked noble on the outside but feels like exhaustion on the inside. She knows you've been pouring into others, secretly wondering who pours back into you. And she knows you've been questioning if there's anything left to believe in. That's why she asked heaven to send this. Because she remembers your spirit before it was wounded. She remembers the child who used to dream without fear, who used to laugh without caution. And she wants that light back, not for her, but for you. Because your life is not over. Your power is not gone. You are still who God said you are, even if you've forgotten for a while. The people around you don't always see it. They see your smile, your service, your kindness, but they don't see the depth of your tiredness. They don't see the unspoken grief you've been carrying since she left. But she sees it. She's seen all of it. And she wants you to know that her leaving was not abandonment, it was transformation. Her love never ended. It only changed shape. It moved from being spoken out loud to being spoken in the spirit. And now, because heaven allowed her to see your face again, her soul was stirred to intervene. Her voice reached me. And I answered. What comes next will not feel like coincidence. You will begin to notice signs, soft, quiet, repeated. You'll hear her favorite song in strange places. You'll feel her presence in the middle of normal days. You'll dream and wake up feeling like she was just with you. That's because she was. Heaven is not far, it's woven through the walls of your reality. And Michael has come not just to deliver a message, but to stay near until this season of transformation is complete. You are not alone. You are not broken beyond repair. You are still surrounded by more light than darkness. And it begins now. Not because of what you've done, but because your mother's soul never stopped believing in you. God says, you've been trying so hard to stay strong for everyone else that you forgot how to feel held yourself. You've been keeping the peace in the world around you while your inner world has been storming in silence. I saw it. Your mother saw it. And that is why last night I showed her your face. Not because she needed a reminder of you, but because you needed a reminder of her presence. Her soul responded the way only a mother's soul can. She didn't weep because she pitied you, she wept because she recognized your strength was running on empty. And she cried the way only heaven can cry, not with despair, but with purpose. And in that cry, Michael was sent, not just as a messenger, but as a covering. You didn't come across this message randomly. Your mother's spirit pulled it into your orbit. She knew you wouldn't hear her in your dreams yet, so she had to find another way to get through. That's how love works when it becomes eternal. It doesn't stop when the body does. It shifts, stretches, reaches in ways you can't imagine. Her love for you didn't die. It ascended. It became a force that even the angels recognize. That is why Michael's presence is real right now. You may not feel wings, but you felt the moments where your chest got warm, where the silence in your room suddenly felt safe, where the ache paused long enough for you to breathe again. That's her. That's him. That's heaven reminding you, you are not alone in this season. Your mother has watched over the conversations you've been afraid to have. She's listened to your thoughts when you couldn't find the courage to say them aloud. She's seen you pull away from people not because you stopped loving them, but because you stopped recognizing yourself. She's seen how often you've wondered, would she be proud of me? And she wants you to hear this through every word right now, yes. Not just proud of what you do. Proud of who you are. Proud of how you've kept going. Proud of how you've chosen kindness over bitterness. Proud of how you've kept your faith even when your heart was buried under questions. Her soul carries that pride like a melody that doesn't fade. Archangel Michael stands not just to deliver this truth, but to rebuild your strength. Because what is coming next in your life cannot be stepped into with a tired soul. There's something being restored that requires your heart to believe again. Not in others. Not in outcomes. But in yourself. In your anointing. In your calling. Your mother saw your future last night, not just your face. And she smiled. Not because it's going to be easy, but because it's going to be beautiful. She saw doors opening that you thought had closed forever. She saw joy returning to places where only survival had lived. She saw your light, brighter than ever. And she said, "Father, please let them feel me close when it begins." And now, it is beginning. God says, do you remember the last time you spoke to her? The way her voice lingered in your chest long after she was gone. That memory wasn't just stored in your mind, it was sealed in the spirit. And even now, that voice still travels through eternity, echoing around my throne. She doesn't speak often here, but when she does, all of heaven listens. And last night, her voice shook the gates. Not with tears of sadness, but with a boldness only a mother can carry when she speaks for her child. She asked me one thing: let them know I have never left. Let them feel my nearness. Let them hear this before the doubt swallows their faith. And because I am a God of love, I said yes. Michael was not simply sent with comfort. He was sent with confirmation. Confirmation that what you've been sensing was not imagination, it was her. The chills down your spine when you're alone? That's her presence brushing against the veil. The dreams you forget upon waking but leave you feeling full? That's her soul sitting near you as you sleep. The way you look up sometimes without knowing why. That's her pulling you toward the light when the darkness starts speaking too loud. You see, death did not separate you. It unveiled her. And now that she lives beyond time, she sees not only where you've been, but where you're headed. And what she sees is glorious. You've questioned if she'd be disappointed in your delays. But what she sees is your determination. You've wondered if she'd be ashamed of your mistakes. But what she sees is your growth. She's not keeping score of your past, she's celebrating the resilience of your heart. You've blamed yourself for not doing enough, for not saying more, for not holding her longer. But she remembers only the love. Only the laughter. Only the way your soul trembled when she let go. And she wants you to release the guilt that keeps trying to chain itself to your healing. Because that guilt is not yours to carry anymore. She's already forgiven what you never needed to apologize for. Her spirit doesn't replay your regrets, she only carries your essence, the core of who you are, and that essence is more radiant than you realize. Archangel Michael is not done yet. His assignment is not just to bring you this message. It is to guard your soul during the restoration that's already begun. You've been walking with wounds you didn't have time to treat. You've been holding up others while your spirit has been craving stillness. But that stillness is coming. That healing is coming. That inner exhale your heart has been craving will begin to unfold, not through effort, but through presence. The presence of your mother's soul surrounding your atmosphere with quiet comfort. The presence of angels clearing space for clarity. The presence of God whispering again into the room of your heart where you thought the voice had gone silent. And now you know, this moment, this message, this feeling, it was never random. It was written. It was her. It was me. God says, there are moments when heaven opens not with thunder, but with quiet compassion. This is one of them. You didn't miss this message by luck, you were drawn into it because your soul cried louder than your voice ever could. And your mother heard you. Even in the high places of glory, she could feel the shift in your spirit. She knew your strength was thinning. She knew your heart was questioning whether you were still on the right path. And so, she did what mothers do, she stood between you and the silence and asked me to intervene. What you are reading now is not just words, it is her embrace dressed in divine language. You've tried to stay strong in places where strength was never meant to carry you. You've tried to smile through moments that were meant to be grieved. You've held in your tears so long they've started turning into emotional knots inside your chest. But now your mother is whispering from a place where grief can't exist. She's saying, let it out. Let it go. Let me stand for you now. You were never meant to carry so much alone. And yet you have. With grace. With honor. With gentleness. She's proud of you, not because you've been perfect, but because you've kept moving. Even with a heavy soul, you've kept showing up. Even in silence, your spirit still fought to believe. And that is the kind of strength heaven doesn't overlook. Archangel Michael has remained by your side not to observe but to protect. You didn't know how close the spiritual war around you became. There were days you couldn't explain the tiredness in your body, the sadness in your bones. But Michael knew. He shielded you from words spoken in secret. From energy sent against you. From manipulation wrapped in kindness. He saw through it all. And because your mother still carries authority through love, her cry activated his assignment again. You were not forgotten. You were not overlooked. You were simply waiting for the hour where heaven would remind you who you really are. And now, beloved soul, you are remembering. That's why these words feel different. That's why your chest feels like it's shaking softly. Your soul is recognizing its name in this message. This is not surface comfort. This is spirit-level clarity. This is the message your inner child waited for while grieving silently. This is the message the adult version of you prayed for in your most private hours. This is healing, not as a concept, but as an experience. And it has come clothed in love that traveled from eternity just to touch you right now. She saw your future. She saw you healed. She saw you walking into rooms with nothing to prove, only presence. She saw you smiling again, not just with your lips, but with your eyes. She saw people coming into your life who would love you the way she prayed someone would. She saw the burden lift. She saw the light return. And she said, God, please let this moment be the beginning of that. And I listened. God says, there is no distance between the heart of a mother and the one she carried. Not even death can cancel the bond one created before time began. What you're feeling now isn't imagination, it's the gentle weight of eternity pressing near your soul. It's her hand in the wind that brushed your cheek. It's her presence in the stillness that wrapped you unexpectedly last night. It's the way your chest tightened without reason. That was me letting her see you. That was her love opening a window between dimensions. And it was enough to release Michael from his watchtower, because when a soul that pure calls your name before me, I do not ignore it. Archangel Michael now walks quietly beside you, not with a trumpet or fire, but with a sacred hush that makes the chaos step back. He has been sent to surround you with peace so deep, even your inner storms will kneel. Because what's coming next isn't just blessing, it's balance. It's clarity. It's restoration in the places where you've forgotten who you are. And Michael's role is to clear what no longer belongs to you: false guilt, emotional weight, trauma disguised as strength. You've carried enough. Your mother sees that. And that's why she came before me last night, not just to watch, but to intercede. She stood before me with the full memory of who you are. She didn't remind me of your failures, she recited your faith. She didn't cry over your mistakes. She rejoiced in your mercy. She said, Father, they've done everything they could with what they had. Now it's time you step in. And I said yes. Because I am not just your God, I am her God. And I honor the prayers of a mother who still carries you in glory. There are shifts happening now in places you can't yet see. Conversations are being redirected. Rooms are being arranged in your favor. People you haven't met are being moved into your timeline. Not because you forced it, but because she asked me to bless you softly. Not all at once. Not to overwhelm you. But little by little, so you could breathe again. So your nervous system could calm. so your heart could feel safe again. Because she knows you. She knows what too much pressure does. She knows how deeply you feel. She knows how quickly you hide your pain behind helping others. And she wants you to know, you no longer need to hide. Not from me. Not from her. Not from yourself. The healing that's coming won't just be emotional, it will be generational. The cycles she couldn't break while she lived, you will. The battles that haunted her silently, you will defeat openly. And she will watch, not from a distance, but from within the light that surrounds you. Every time you succeed, heaven will echo with her smile. Every time you choose love over fear, she'll whisper, "That's my child." And when you're unsure again, when grief returns quietly in the late hours, Michael will be near. To hold space. To silence shame. To anchor you until the light returns. God says, you didn't ask for this moment, but it found you. Because your spirit was ready. I watched you carry days heavier than your shoulders could bear and still whisper prayers in the dark. I saw you show up for others while no one showed up for you. I saw how you smiled in public and shattered in private. You never complained loud enough for others to notice, but heaven heard every silent scream. And that is why last night, I allowed your mother's soul to look upon you again. Because sometimes love from heaven is the only thing that can reach where earthly voices cannot. She saw you. Not the version the world sees, but the you who's tired, questioning, longing. And her heart moved with holy urgency. She didn't speak many words when she saw your face. She simply touched her spirit to mine and I felt what she felt. Her longing was so pure, so deep, so full of unconditional hope, that I released Archangel Michael to carry this message not through thunder, but through tenderness. Because what you need now is not noise. What you need is remembrance. Remembrance of who you were before the world silenced your laughter. Before grief made you question your worth. Before time pulled you away from the sacred softness that once bloomed inside you. She remembered. And now, through this message, you are remembering too. Michael is not just here to protect you. He is here to walk beside you until the part of you that gave up begins to live again. He has already begun creating space around your life, removing distractions, blocking confusion, canceling what doesn't carry your calling. Not as punishment, but as preparation. Because your mother's prayers are still active. Her words still move things in the spirit realm. And last night, her prayer was simple, God, bring my child back to joy. Back to purpose. Back to themselves. And so I sent light. Not the kind you see with your eyes, but the kind that makes your chest breathe deeper without knowing why. The kind that makes silence feel like peace instead of loneliness. That's her. That's me. That's heaven drawing near. You may have thought she left you behind, but child, she went ahead. She is waiting in every breakthrough you're about to walk into. She is present in the love that's returning to your life. She is smiling through the healing that's about to unfold. She doesn't want you to stay stuck in the version of yourself that grief tried to freeze. She wants you to walk again, as the healed you. The whole you. The radiant you. The version of you that knows it's okay to start over. The version that no longer apologizes for needing time, rest, and truth. And as you begin to trust the quiet again, you will feel something you forgot was possible: hope without fear. You'll notice little things. The timing of a song. The way a breeze moves at the exact moment her memory enters your mind. The sudden calm that floods your spirit when you least expect it. That's not random. That's not coincidence. That's your mother, now eternal, now fully alive in the spirit, whispering, "I never left. I just stepped into a place where I can love you louder than ever before. And I, your God, have made room for that love to reach you fully, now." God says, this message is not the end. It is the unlocking. The gates of silence that once kept you closed off from comfort are opening. Your mother didn't come to remind you of her absence. She came to reveal her nearness. She came to whisper to the parts of you that forgot how to feel safe, how to feel loved without conditions, how to feel held even in an empty room. She came because heaven saw your heart beginning to fade into survival. You were never made just to survive, you were created to overflow. And she still believes in your overflow. Her soul still carries your name as if it were a flame that can't be put out. And now that flame has reached you. She didn't ask me to take away your struggle. She asked me to breathe into your strength. Because she knows your strength is sacred. You don't need to be rescued, you need to be remembered. And heaven remembers you. Michael remembers. I remember. And now, through this divine encounter, you remember. You remember that you're not too far gone. That the ache inside you is not a sign of weakness, it is the echo of unspoken love. And that love is not lost. It is active. It is alive. It is wrapped around your life like soft light in the night. You may not see it, but you're feeling it now. That warmth in your chest, that tightness behind your eyes, it is the proof that her soul has touched you once more. Archangel Michael will not leave until this healing is complete. He stands beside you even now, canceling every voice that tried to convince you that you're alone. He is silencing every shadow that whispered you were forgotten. His wings are not just symbolic, they are real, wrapped around your space, holding you together while heaven rearranges what tried to bury you in silence. The grief that numbed you is melting. The confusion that clouded your decisions is lifting. The shame that you carried like invisible weight is now being dismantled by love. Not the world's love, divine love. A mother's love. A father's promise. A heavenly army moved by one soul who wouldn't let you fall. So let this be the moment where you breathe differently. Let this be the day where you forgive yourself. For not healing fast enough. For not smiling more. For not knowing what to do with the pain. Let this be the hour you give yourself permission to feel it all, and still rise. Your mother didn't leave this message to dwell in sorrow. She sent it so your spirit could begin to dance again. So you could laugh again without guilt. Love again without fear. Trust again without flinching. Live again without hesitation. She is not asking you to be perfect. She's asking you to be present. To be open. To be whole. And I, your God, am honoring that request. You are being restored, not back to who you were before grief, but into someone stronger, softer, wiser, and deeper. And your mother will watch you step into that healing with joy that makes heaven sing. She will stand in glory and say, "That's my child. That's the one I never stopped loving." And I will stand beside her and say, "That's the one I never stopped choosing." Now walk forward, not as the version of you who was broken, but as the one who has been rebuilt in love. Because your time has come. And heaven has already gone ahead of you. If you believe in God, type Amen or 444 or 555 or 000 111. Subscribe for more videos.